And welcome to Charles Carter's in person and virtually. So I really appreciate the love the center gave me this opportunity to share with you this project on this important topic, CSR and sustainability-led innovation. Hello. Last year, the 26th United Nations had their climate change conference in the UK, in Glasgow, if you still remember it. Despite the COVID, quite a lot of world leaders participated in this conference, including President Biden from the United States. There are a lot of achievements from COP26. I'm sorry, from COP26.
That could be the next pandemic.
Well, hope not. However, disappointingly, President Xi Jinping from China, he did not attend this conference as a lot of people hoped. China actually is one of the biggest CO2 emission burner in the world, and while we applaud China's economic wealth, its related cost in terms of environmental and of the social issue is very, very high. Worse than that, in the very I guess some people already knew, in the very last minute, China kind of like used a different language. Before they say before they hope they can turn down the use of coal, but then they changed to turn lower of the COVID. I keep on thinking about COVID, the use of coal. According to one of the BBC report, as a result, actually we are a long way from where we hope and need to be in 2030. So now, based on the big scale of resource-based expansion in manufacturing sector in China, China has enjoyed unprecedented growth in past few decades. But again, its related cost in terms of the social environment is so high, so that to the extent that sustainability has been the key issue and draw a lot of attention from practitioners and policymakers. And because of this cause of the attention of corporate social responsibility. However, this concept of CSR in China still relatively new. Many companies consider CSR only when their economic security is guaranteed. But some suggest sustainability and environment issue actually can be the drivers for innovation, and then contributing back to economic security. So against this background, our study considered two issues. The first issue is although there is an interrelated relationship between CSR and sustainability-led innovation, the literature or the research in this area remain very limited. And then this kind of study into China remains scarce. The other very important issue we look at is, once again, the corporate CSR and the sustainability-led innovation are the concept developed in Western culture. And there are quite a lot of international joint venture actually bring into their experience and knowledge into the host countries. So instead of finger pointing, why China, you do not do more, we believe international joint venture play an influential role in terms of helping the environmental and the innovation aspect. Manage the diversity and differences between West and East, between different culture, value, and the governance system can be very problem and challenging. Therefore, we conducted an exploratory case study into 3 major international joint ventures. And they are Brilliance, BMW Brilliance, the Fujian Mercedes-Benz, and SEAT Volkswagen. The joint venture provides us a cross-national setting. On one side is all Chinese partners, on the other side is all German partners. And the automotive industry allowed us to really focus on the environmental, social issues and sustainability innovation. So we explore 2 things. The first one is we explore the practice of CSR in cross-national automotive joint venture in China. And the second is we explore how this practice results in the development of sustainability-led innovation. So these are the 2 major issues under this multiple case study. Like all the research projects, we do have a theoretical lens to study the topic. The theoretical lens we base on is institutional theory and newer institutional theory. This theory allowed us to carefully study the cross-national cooperation into 3 major aspects in terms of the culture, the value, actors, and political governing. As I just mentioned, CSR in China is relatively new concept. It's only until 2008 China has the unity called the Corporate Social Responsibility Research Center of the Chinese Academy of Social Science, established in 2008. And this unit is responsible to publish the CSR guidance every 2 years. In this study, there's another very important document and a source, and this is Global Reporting Initiative, GRI. GRI published the CSR standards and used in the international markets. So these 2 are the major source for this multiple case study. And we use 2018, 2020, and 2019 for GRI. There's one thing I would like to share with you. Both systems, they publish the reporting standards or guidance by dimensions. And on each dimension has their sub-dimensions. So for China, and 2 systems actually they align with each other quite well, except there are 2 dimensions appeared in GRI, but not in China's system. And these are the dimension of stakeholders or shareholders and the dimension of equality. To increase the validity and reliability, we actually add the data, collect the data from the company collector, the public website, and we use phone interviews to verify our data. And in terms of the analysis, we apply within and without, for each case and among the cases, for the purpose to seek the consistent pattern, for the purpose to propose our propositions. So these are the pretty much the practice of this exploratory multiple case study. Yes.
Sorry, Andrew, I was just reading patriotism from all national perspective.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting. Is that also in common, the patriotism and promoting national prosperity? Is that also in common with the GRI?
It is just.
That's not an addition within China. That's actually common throughout the world.
It is within. It is under GRI.
Right.
But this is kind of a platform for us to study our case studies because they all have the dimensions to follow up. Do not forget, we are studying joint ventures. So one part is from China, the other one actually, for example, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Volkswagen. They do have their requirement from their headquarters. So that's why we need to look at GRI and see how far that they have implemented. And this, the international practice is also, they are also having this into their reporting system.
So my question was going to be, how do we understand those bits that have been left out? What do you think their reasoning was? What's the pattern? The elements of the GRI that have been left out of the Chinese version of corporate social responsibility. How do we? I mean, I guess.
You mean the stakeholders and
right. What's controversial? Why have they rejected those particular aspects?
Well, I hope I know. But don't forget, they are kind of authority. Although they say they are Chinese Academy of Social Science. So I don't think they really consult the international market, say, should I consider shareholder equality? I don't think so. Of course, I did not participate. How, tell us, how did you decide the dimension? The base we have is based on the guidelines they publish every year. So the guideline base is 2018 and 2020. In both of the guidelines, we did not find a dimension which actually appeared in GRI in 2019, but not appeared in CNSS. And once again, because we are more interested to know the practice of the joint venture, so we do not exclude the practice of GRI. And of course, when we collect the data inside more than 500 pages, and we try to interpret, what is this for, and this is what we have found. I will show you an example from BMW. Probably that will be easier for you to understand, how we should also consider these two extra dimensions from GRI. But I think that's very valid. Hopefully, luck can join the Chinese Academy and give some suggestions. Although I don't think they really like the equality issue.
And then you say employ disabled people, right? Where is it? Provide job for the disabled. So actually, it's under the equality kind of title.
Well, that's actually been a big agenda of the party in the official policy agenda actually in the last couple of years. They're putting a lot of emphasis on how much they're doing for disability.
I think that's a very good point.
Truth and reality, obviously, you might
We're actually opening up a bit more. Like I was in, because there was a video online to just trying to repair the law about gender equality. So I think it's more of the opening up of the social. It's a social issue instead of. So if it's a social issue, it's going to be applied to.
It's a social issue, but it's also economic.
Exactly. So I think if it's a social one, it's going to be concerned by more people.
Yeah.
They're working on that.
Right.
But I think that's a very, very good point. I wonder myself, well, why they decided to have this but not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be another research project.
Well, that is the whole point for the future. All right, but this is pretty much the basic structure for this study. Now, we have, and then in terms of the practice result in the development of sustainability-led innovation, we borrowed the framework suggested by Joe Tidd and John Bassett of the involvement of development of sustainability-led innovation. Based on this module, there are 3 different levels in terms of development of SLI. The first level is operational optimization, highlight the incremental innovation and for doing the same thing better. And then the second level is organizational transformation, highlight the novel innovation for doing good by doing new things. And then the third one probably is kind of ideal scenario, have the system building and having the novel innovation for doing good things by doing new things with others. So this is what, if we are talking about policymaker, this is what we're thinking about this industry transformation, because it's talking about the ecosystem change. So we borrowed this model in terms of to help us to better understand how the CSR practice result in the development of SLI. Right. So the newer institutional theory suggests there are 2 different kinds of CSR, the implicit and explicit, and divided into 2 different markets. So on the one side, we have coordinated market economics, and the implicit factors highlight that this is more talking about in terms of 3 aspects: the cultural value, the actors, and the political governing. So in terms of cultural value, it's more collectivism. In terms of actors, it's more system and observatory agency. And in terms of political government, it's more towards the policy providing applications. On the side of the equation is the liberal market economic. So this market is more talking about individualism. It's talking about discretionary agency, and it's talking about policies providing descriptions of the explicit factors. And based on this theory foundation, there are 4 key dimensions been highlighted in terms of practice the CSR. The first one is commitment, and the stakeholders, and the market orientation, and the technological capacity in terms of how company, from this 2 implicit and explicit CSR, how company really practice the CSR. Under these 4 dimensions, commitment actually guided the other 3 dimensions. So it's a commitment from the government entity, for example, if that is the Chinese government, if they are really committed in something, and that will also influence the managerial commitment. And that commitment actually will guide how the stakeholders, how the market orientation, and how the technology capacity working for the CSR or towards the CSR. And then within this 3 other dimensions, they actually have the association with each other. So there's association between stakeholders, market orientation, and technology orientation. So this is pretty much the result of the literature review, which will help us to continue for our empirical study. This is a quick snapshot of the BMW Brilliance practice. On one side is the CSR dimension and then CSR sub-dimensions and the examples. If you look at all the dimensions, actually the economic responsibility provides us the testimonies of commitment. And the sub-dimension about emphasize technology and innovation help us to give us the evidence about the technology orientation. And they do have this dimension called customer orientation, or this we actually can translate into the market orientation. And of course, under GRI, they do have the share and the shareholder and stakeholders items. And we found 3 joint ventures, they not only have the evidence on the Chinese guidelines, but they also have the evidence to support the GRI, the international standards. The results. Okay. So after back and forth many times within and without the case study analysis, here are our results. Our multiple case studies suggest that cross-national joint venture in automotive industry apply a hybridization approach in their CSR practice, within which they actually utilize the balanced integrated managerial leadership. And they also utilize the strategic cooperation, looking for the market and technology orientation, but still remain and follow the harmonized norm in society. And our study also suggests this kind of practice result or help the first level of sustainability-led innovation, and that is operational optimization by incremental innovation. However, we do not find sufficient evidence to say this kind of CSR practice turn into the second or third level of sustainability-led innovation. And this is where we propose our 2 propositions. Proposition 1 is how CSR is practiced by joint ventures, and the second one is how this leads to the sustainability-led innovation. And here you have it. So our first proposition is a balanced and integrated approach guides firms' managerial commitments in the practice of CSR, within which strategic cooperation in business networks is adopted by strengthened market and technology orientation and to maintain a harmonized norm in society. And the second proposition is the practice of CSR mainly results in incremental innovation and fostering the operational optimization, but little contributing to organizational transformation and systems building in the development of sustainability-led innovation. So these are the 2 propositions that are driven from the result of our study. This study had 3 contributions or significant aspects. The first one is we hope to, this study contributes to an interrelated but underexplored research topic in CSR and SLI, sustainability-led innovation literature. And it also reflects how cross-national joint venture actors practice CSR in a highly regulated market. And third contribution lies in the offers an alternative option to policymakers and managers who used to divorce CSR from business or economic objectives. Many companies only consider CSR when their economic security is guaranteed. But we suggest that might not be the case. Okay, we probably can have a reverse approach. Like all kinds of research, all kinds of studies, we do have limitation of this study. First of all, this study is based on heavily rely on the institutional theory. As you can see the dimension, they are rich data. Actually, researchers are waiting for researchers to explore. But for this study, we only focus on the institutional theory, mainly because this is a joint venture. We believe joint venture play an influential role in influence the sustainability and CSR in China. Of course, one of the key limitations is the 3 case studies are mainly drawn from the public data. And we do understand the public data do have the purpose for public relations or promotion. However, we also trust this is a good starting point and guided for further research. So for the further research, we plan to have primary data, and we probably can have using a different theoretical lens, and probably we can consider in different markets. So if your research, for example, focus on like India, because India is another key country to study in terms of CSR, in terms of the sustainability, and I would like to take this opportunity to say we are also call for research cooperation. I know many of you are experts in your own area, and I hope there are some overlap in some areas that raise your interest, and we really would like to have more research cooperation. I think this is a win-win situation, but we just would like to take this exploratory study to kind of introduce the idea, and hopefully we can attract your attention. So if you like to have any cooperation, you can find me in this building and in my email. Now, before I wrap up this presentation, I think it's my great honor to have Dr. Johan Velland. He is the president and CEO from BMW. Brilliant.
He's gonna talk to us now.
Yes, he is going to talk to you in person about CSR in China. And here we go.
He's not live, okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, no, not live. Maybe next time I should consider. I think it's not too difficult. I think it's not too difficult to invite.
If we can get out of China.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johan Velland. Here we go.
I am happy to announce here and now we are publishing our 2020 Bba Sustainability Report containing all of BMW Brilliant's sustainability performance. This report is not only our transparent and responsible disclosure, but also our answer to BMW's sustainability commitment, as well as a review of our contribution to local community. I am proud to tell you that we make big contributions to a more sustainable and healthier environment here in China. Here are a few achievements out of our sustainability report. Energy. It is important to reduce energy consumption, but also to use clean energy. We are proud to announce that BMW Brilliance uses 100% renewable electricity at our Shenyang production base, from 0% in 2016 to 100% 3 years later. Since 2016, we reduced energy consumption per vehicle produced by 26%. Water. Water is a precious resource in the north of China. We at BBA reduced water consumption since 2016 by 24%. Waste. Waste needs to be reduced for a more beautiful environment. We reduced the waste per vehicle produced since 2016 by 53%. Our BBA CO2 footprint is a big focus point, of course. we reduced the greenhouse gas CO2 by 84% per vehicle produced since 2016. But also, we care about the well-being of the people, the workplace safety and health. Our workforce is the beating heart of BMW Brilliance, and we always put their health and safety first. Our response to COVID-19 has only deepened this commitment. We have mastered the COVID-19 pandemic exceptionally well, protected our people, and did not have one single case in China. We are also happy to have reduced the accident frequency rate by 83% since 2016. Being in a technology-driven business, we use technological innovations to pursue a more innovation-driven green development. And our deliveries prove innovations enable sustainability. But equally important is the behavior and the attitude of the people. Using people's wisdom to become more sustainable is the other big success factor of our sustainability achievements. The people have to live a culture of mindfulness and responsibility for our environment and for our planet. Then we can make this world a better place. BMW Brilliance has a total of more than 20,000 associates, and I am proud to say that sustainability has become part of our way of doing business. We have learned everybody can contribute to making this a better world. Each of you can contribute to a more sustainable future. Show your forward-looking and mindful attitude and never get tired to act sustainably.
大家好，我是郭俊涵，来自业务发展和企业可持续发展部。过去的3年，其实我一共参与并经历了3本可持续发展报告的发布。每一本可持续发展报告的发布背后，都离不开不同业务部门小伙伴的支持。无论是北京，还是沈阳，还是慕尼黑，华晨宝马可持续发展的每一步背后，都凝聚了大家的心血和汗水。
我是郝文静，我的工作是整车物流规划。现在成品车是以火车运输为主。
我是韩笑，我来自公司环境管理部，我的工作致力于不断改善公司节能减排环境绩效。
我叫任志强，我在华晨宝马动力电池中心从事高压电池模组生产工作。
我叫马春晓，铁西工厂安保，负责铁西工厂车厂管理。
我叫楚振军，我来自铁西工厂餐厅，我坚持食品安全、节约能源、回收利用。
我是张春华，我负责铁西涂装车间能源管理工作，节能减排是我们的工作目标。
我是马腾子，负责工厂能源管理工作。
我为华晨宝马可持续性发展做贡献，我自豪。
我为华晨宝马可持续发展做贡献，我自豪。
我为华晨宝马可持续发展做贡献，我自豪。
马世宝马万岁
Right. Well, we have to admit this is more or less like a promotional PR material. But I would like to reflect 2 things out of this. First of all, what they have done actually is the fact in terms of how they improve water, energy, and innovation. So, but if you notice that they are all incremental innovation, not really brand new that very the world never seen before. So it's more incremental innovation, but still that helps the economic wealth. And the second one I would like to highlight is, we truly believe the international joint venture play a very influential role in China. So, the management's leadership and their commitment actually influence the entire company. And we hope this influential effect will expand to other industry. Of course, this is our dream and this is our hope. But I think this is a very good case study and bring a lot of food for thought for future research. So thank you very much for coming today, and your comments and questions are more than welcome. And if again, we are looking for cooperation in the future, and that is my email address. Thank you. Thank you.